The Monster in the Mountain. Meet Marta Ramirez. As a young girl during World War II, Marta Ramirez saw newsreels that showed B-52 planes flying near the smoky plume of a volcanic eruption. The year was 1944, and Mount Vesuvius in Italy was erupting. Blankets of burning ash were seen smothering the airplanes. Shards of volcanic rock came plummeting from the sky. Soldiers on the ground ran for cover.
Each glowing splinter of rock was like a fiery dagger.
Those images never left Marta. She has been fascinated by volcanoes ever since. When she got older, Marta earned degrees in geology and volcanology. Though she has studied many of the world's volcanoes, she returns again and again to Mount Vesuvius. Marta has climbed down into its smoking crater many times. In the following memoir, she describes one of her visits and why this volcano still inspires her work. At the Monster's Mouth. I recently went to see this dynamic volcano again. I decided to climb its slope along with the dozens of curious tourists visiting that day. As we walked, our shoes crunched on cinders that had been dropped there long ago. Finally reaching the rim, we gazed at the spectacular view. We stared 800 feet down into the crater. It was quiet for now, but I knew it was only sleeping. Frequent tremors and small earthquakes prove that this monster is not dead. Did the others standing there with me know about the danger beneath their feet? Map labels. Mount Vesuvius. Tyrrhenian Sea. Italy. Adriatic Sea. Europe. Eurasian Plate. African Plate. Eurasian Plate. Slab window. Caption. This model shows how Mount Vesuvius formed where one plate of Earth's crust pushes against another. Molten rock at this collision point exerts pressure upward until lava explodes from the volcano. Every time I see this volcano up close, I think about how it had roared like a lion back in 1944. The trembling earth shook buildings for miles around, and streams of scalding lava flowed down the sides. Like glowing red fingers, they stretched out to crush defenseless homes below. It must have been terrifying to witness in person. Today, the lava that once cascaded down the mountain is hard and dry. It looks a bit like the skin of an elephant. When the monster awakens. There is a lot of documentation of Vesuvius's past. Geologists have gathered this evidence of early eruptions by studying the rocks that were formed. Before 1944, the most catastrophic eruption occurred in 79 AD. A Roman writer named Pliny the Younger described it in detail in his letters. On the morning of that tragic day, no one guessed that an enormous volcanic explosion was about to pulverize tons of rock and send it raining down on the city. People couldn't know that thick, dark ash and fiery lava would completely destroy the nearby cities of Pompeii and Herculaneum. By evening, few people had survived. Many smaller eruptions have occurred since then, including the one in 1944. Volcanologists believe that another major eruption could occur at any time. The probability grows with each passing year. To watch for geological changes within Vesuvius, we have set up seismographs on the slopes of its cone. These instruments measure the slightest shifts in the rock beneath the mountain. Map labels. Italy. Area of detail. Mount Vesuvius. Naples. Herculaneum. Pompeii. Bay of Naples. Tyrrhenian Sea. During one dangerous but exciting mission, I climbed down into the crater itself. My crew and I worked on mapping what was going on underground. We also measured the gases leaking from small vents. Any sudden increase in carbon dioxide and other gases might signal an eruption. Looking ahead. I don't go into the crater anymore, but I often think about how Vesuvius threatens the environment around it. Today, the city of Naples lies at the foot of Mount Vesuvius. If an eruption occurred tomorrow, the city would not be ready. Tons of ash and rock would once more be hurled into the air. This volcanic debris would keep cars, planes, and trains from operating. People would try escaping on foot. Sadly, no one can outrun such an eruption. The only sure way to protect people who live near this volcano is to give them enough warning. The city of Naples has detailed evacuation plans. For the plans to work, however, officials need to be warned 7 days before an eruption occurs. I hope the work that volcanologists do will help to give people the warning they need. Until then, I'll be watching this sleeping monster, just in case it starts to wake up. Caption: Behind Vesuvius are the remains of Mount Soma, a volcano that erupted 25,000 years ago. Vesuvius formed inside Soma's crater.